What's the YouTube? Dow here from Zephyr War Games, bringing you something again a little bit different, and this is thanks to Matt. And I am bringing you a Time Thief Raid Raptor profile, and we also have a lot of replays to go through. So we'll start off with the profile just to kind of show you what they're using. It is a profile for the future, as it does add in 2 of the brand new Time Thief cards. However, what it also does to keep in mind is you can build this right now and still be able to play with this. And we'll see through the replays. I know what each of the Time Thieves do. I know what the Raid Raptor engine does, and it's pretty much rank 4 rush. It does look really, really cool, and I like the concept of it. Anything using and abusing Time Thieves in a right way that's using the majority of Time Thieves is always going to be good in my book, because I like the idea behind it. So it's going to be interesting to see. It doesn't use the new XYZ Time Thief. I don't know if there's a reason for that. I will have to ask Matt to find the answers. However, let's get through the profile and show you exactly what they've got. So of course you've got Trill Parallel XZs. If you're going to link something and you want to rank 4, this is the best card to do it. Then of course you've got triple Time Thief Winder, and you've got double Danger Mothman. Now again, remember with the Time Thieves, they all, or the majority of them, have effects when they're detached off of XYZ materials as well, and or give the XYZ basically an additional effect. And then on top of that, you've got just general level 4 monsters that are going to special summon themselves in one way or another. So just a lot of extenders. So you've got like Trick Clown, Strangle Lanius, which special summons itself if you control a Dart monster, Rocket Tracer, 2 Dinotherium, Damage Juggler, 2 Pudincessors. This is interesting. Petincessor, sorry. Interesting having this at 2. Considering it's a card that needs no cards in the graveyard to special summon, it's interesting that you have to open it in a 47 card deck as well. So there might be some reason behind that. You then got the Time Thief Adjuster. So this card is, if it is normal or special, if you normal or special summon a Time Thief monster, except itself, you can special summon this card from hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can send 1 Time Thief card from your deck to the graveyard, except itself. Only use 1 effect per turn. So you're either going to Foolish Burial or you're going to special summon it. So chances are you're probably going to special summon it. And then of course we've got Mimicry Lanius, Kagakoki. I haven't seen this for a long time. So when you normal summon at level 4, you can special summon this card from hand. So it's kind of like Kagamushi Knight for level 4s. And then of course you've got Hat Trigger. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Come on. I mean, come on. Have some organisation, man. I'm just tidying up. All right, I'm just tidying up. I've just got to make sure I don't lose anything now. All right, so Triple Time Thief Regulator. We all know what this one does. Single Time Thief Beazle Ship. Triple Tin Goldfish. Standard. And then we've got the extender of the Mapora and the Sifana, the 10 Spirits. And then for the rest of the Raid Raptors, you've got your Singing Lanius, you got your Rocket Recharger, you got your Raider's Wing, and then you've got the 1 Phantom Knights of Silent Boot. So I'm assuming this is here just to get you the rank up spell. Then you got your rank up magic, Soul Shear Force, 1 Call by the Grave. I'm not sure how relevant that is in a 47 card deck. I don't know. I'm assuming the idea, and again we'll see more, and we'll come back at to the profile at the end, like how relevant some of these cards are during the replays, and how consistent you see them. But I would assume the idea is you kind of want to, off of the back of your normal summon, you want to then start extending further, or even if you don't normal summon, you extend further, get into your rank 4s, and that's where you get into your like Force Tricks, Track Tricks for Fleesia, stuff like that. So Trill Quick Launch, of course, is basically just an additional extender for any of the 2 rockets you play in the deck. The Phantom Knights rank up, and then you've got your Time Thief Flyback, you've got your Grave Digger's Trap Pole, you've got your Floodgate Trap Pole, Shade Brigadine, Fog Blade, Phantom Knights, Knight's Claw, and then the Time Thief Retrograde. Again, these 2 are a bit, I'm assuming this is obviously defensive for Navira, and then this is an offensive option off of the back of Rafflesia. But maybe, I think he's still in testing phase. I think he's still testing, because I think some of these cards you'd probably go, right, okay, if I'm going to try and knock this down as close to 4 as I possibly can, I'll probably knock this out. But we'll see. We'll see. Right, so now let's have a look at the extra deck. Of course, we've got the Borrello Savage Dragon. I suppose if you're going to be pumping out so many rank 4s, you're eventually going to have the ability with a tuner, which will be your traitor, to get into a Savage, which is another way to out Nibiru or any kind of dangerous hand traps. Soul Dragon Infinity, I'm assuming we're going to be using rank up force on top of 4 Strix, so again another way of protecting your stuff. Requiem XYZ Dragon, that's interesting. Maybe I'll swap it to the new one, not sure. Dark Rebellion XYZ, just general high level damage. Time Thief Reader, I love that card. Treacherous Rafflesia, triple 4 Strix, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Rusty Bardiche, 1 Phoenix, 1 Bujinki Amishima, 1 Raid Raptor Y Strix, and 1 Salamangreat Armorage. And the side deck, I'm not sure if this is actually his side deck, but I think these are alternative options. So obviously you got the Gamma package. Personally, I probably wouldn't play that in here because the only thing that I see that would get gammered that you'd be able to stop would be the quick launch. But interesting nonetheless. Abyss Dweller, Nightmare, both really good cards in this deck. Unicorn, Lambda, Gravity Controller, Link Spider, double Eagle boosters, interesting, and the 1 Magical Midbreaker. Magical Midbreaker makes a little bit of sense. Stops you being like impermed or anything like that. Okay, let's test out the replays. So the first one we've got against Cake. So we'll go Cake game 1, obviously. This is Madolce. So basically we're going to start off with the retrograde, and once retrograde goes through, you're in kind of a good position because you've got both the Time Feast coming out, Beazle Ship and Winder, sorry. Winder adds 1. I believe this is, I'm not sure what this one is, but you're going to link to, you're going to get the Parallel Exceed off of that, and then you're going to get the Bujinki Amishima is going to get you that effect as well, which that gives you the Rafflesia, which is going to be able to protect you this. I don't know what this one is. I'm assuming it's the new Time Thief card. Overlay into 4 Strix with the XEs. He's just going ham. And then we've got the Y Strix. He's gone through a Nibiru already. Going for a second Y Strix. I suppose like the first thing that if it was hit would have sucked is like an Ash Blossom. Rusty Body, because then you would have used your normal, and I don't think he had any extenders. We've got an Infinity, so it gives him another negate. Body, she's going to send boots to get the rank up. We've got a Fog Blade as well. Nice. And then we're getting a Redoer. Oh my god, it doesn't stop. Another rank 4. I suppose this could be something a bit more defensively. Like, imagine if this was like an Abyss Dweller. Because then you'll have like an Abyss Dweller, Fog Blade. So that stops it evenly. Interesting. And then he's just going to win from there. Milk surrendered. When a monster effect is activated, detach 1 material from a Dark XYZ, negate the activation if you do destroy that card. Then if the detached material was the Phantom Knights, Raid Raptor or XYZ Dragon card, 1 Raid Raptor XYZ once you control gains attack. So that's a little bit irrelevant, but the trap is sick. So he ended the board with not really an interruption because he didn't have a trap, but this because of Floodgate. But let's say you don't play Floodgate, so that becomes dead. You still have Infinity as a single negate. You've got this Phantom Knight's Claws, which again is a nice negate. You got Fog Blade, which is a negate, and then you got the rank up, which I'm assuming is going to turn. But it's 1 or more dark monsters from your grave, then type 1 dark XYZ. You can try a special summon from the extra deck from Phantom Knights. So suppose you turn this into the XYZ Dragon, which is why I'm probably considering probably the Requiem or the new one will be a little bit better because it gives you that skill drain when it's summoned. But that'll be interesting. Alright, so I assume that was him going first. Let's see what happens if he... I'm assuming this is if he goes second. Let's see. No, he gets to go first. So he gets the extender of the Safada, and he gets to go into the Beazle Ship. Then Amishima brings down the Parallel Xyz. Bring those back. Mate Rafflesia protects from the Nibiru. Parallel Xyz goes into 4 Strix. Ghost Ogre on the 4 Strix. Interesting. Lets that go through. Beazle Ship's effect to come back. Damage Juggler to be banished to get your Hat Tricker. And again, he just continues to extend. 4 Strix going off again. Raider's Wing, bringing Raider's Wing down, going into White Strix. So this is where obviously the Raid Raptor. So the last one was showing off a bit of the Time Thief plays. This is showing off the Raid Raptor plays. They pretty much get to the same end state. Infinity is an interesting one. Maybe I don't know. It's got the ability to be a bit adaptive because you have the ability to go either Infinity or go into. I think Ultimate Falcon, sorry. So the Infinity Negate is interesting. It was interesting that he didn't absorb the Amishima, because this can't be used as link material at all. So at the moment, all it is doing is a 1500 beat monster. So, I mean, Infinity could have absorbed this, and it means that there was no chance his opponent was going to be able to run over this, which would have been interesting. Still, he won the game. Still ended with double negate, at least. Well, triple negate. And he had the rank up as well, which would have turned this up a level. I don't know about recursion, though. Like, looking at the hand, apart from the fact that his board sustained, if his board didn't sustain, and both times he's faced evenly matched, if the board didn't sustain, my question would then be, where do you then go? Like, if his hand is left with this, well, let's say he gets rid of all of it and this all goes, his hand will be left with a trick. Oh, he'd still have a rank 4. I know, wouldn't, because he would probably have a trapping grade by then. Anyway, let's go to Dino. Okay, so again, going first. So it looks like this is an Operation Go First deck. So we've got the 4 Strix. Beazle ships, making another. So we've got Link to Y-Strix. Instigate another one. Now this is interesting. Again, he hasn't faced an Ash, so that'll be something to be weary of. And this one he's not going to face in Nibiru. So I suppose if there was a Nibiru in here, then he would probably be in a little bit of danger. He's still replenishing in the hand though. It's still getting decent board presence, and now he's got a disruption with Redoer. I like that ability, so bringing back the Ray Rats is really kind of cool. So then he's ending his turn with 1, 2, technically 3, 4, 5 interruptions. So I mean, I suppose you play your opponent plays the Extrav, you hit it with the Retrograde. Your opponent plays Fossil Dig. That's only monster effect. You probably hit it with Infinity, maybe. I mean, that Dino hand is not great because you got a baby, a UCT, you got no other dinos, and as soon as the Extrav and the Dig get stopped, you've not really got anywhere to go. I suppose you could go. The best thing you could do is play Lost World. Normal. So after that point, anyway, play Lost World. Normal summon the baby. Baby attacks the token. Use the effect to come back, but then I suppose Time Thief Reader would then kick into Detach 2 to bounce the baby. So, okay, let's go on to Mech Knights. Again, I'm thinking this is the new Time Thief monster. So, yeah. So there you go. So we send in the Time Thief card. Quick launch. What the heck? This is just a level 1 machine. That's interesting. Droll and Lockbird. Oh, and he had the Call by the Grave. All right, this one don't count. Like, you should be under Droll. Do you need to search more? I suppose you do. Especially something out there. Let's see where the Droll actually affects. There you go. Fine. So it stops the 4 Strix search. Can you still play without the 4 Strix search? Let's see where it leads to. We've got another search there. So I suppose you lose the rank 4 and you're ending your board on maybe Rusty. It's got the Fogblade in hand already. So I think that if Droll had gone through, you wouldn't have had the Redoer full effect. You wouldn't have had you would have had Infinity, Fogblade, and maybe the rank up. So interesting. Here you go. So he goes into the Requiem. Once per turn, detach one material from this card, target one face on once your opponent tries to attack 0, and if you do, this gains attack you. So when your opponent activates a monster effect with it, detach one material. Oh, okay, so the Requiem is another negate. I mean, he's gone through 2 negates, isn't it, so far? Because he's done the Gearsu and did the others. So, alright, that was interesting. Let's have a look at Rockets. Again, it seems to be cookie cutter. It's obviously not immune to everything, but it can do it. So Bujinki, Amashima, and then Rafflesia. Right, so straight away that's your Nibiru Protector. So it has the ability to, in a way, consistently get into a Nibiru Protector. But it seems to me that it needs 2 cards in order to do that. But then from that point on, once it's protected from Nibiru, you're kind of good to go. I think the one big threat to it next to that is probably Ash Blossom over Imperm, but Imperm might do the job just as well. So as Ash is more generic against it. They do burn through their own life points a little bit as well, so I suppose that also comes down to obviously time management, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to be spending it forever doing your combos and not have the ability to kind of see the game out, because you don't want to be hitting time when you're burning that much life points off. I mean, this is interesting as well, is the Rafflesia What did the Rafflesia use? Red Ice Fusion. That's obviously going to get hit with Boral, of course. No, we're going into the Requiem. Fine. Because the XYZ summoned a dark. Alright, fair enough. Fair. I mean, overall, the board's still really kind of cool. I like the idea behind it. Savage giving them the negate. Let's have a look at the Zoo one. So we've only seen the deck go first, which is interesting as well. But it does kind of show. There we go. There's the Ash. Oh, okay, and he's got the Gamma. Well, not the Gamma. I suppose. Okay, that makes sense. That's why the Gamma's useful, because it tributes his cost. Fair enough. Okay. We've got a face in the Fet Veiler now, so let's see where that hits. So that hits the 4 Strix. It still has the Beazle Shield. I suppose that's the other thing as well, is he's setting up the graveyard quite nicely. Okay. And then we're just going to... I like the synergy between the two engines, which is interesting. It looks like they've got just as much, if not a little bit more, synergy between the two, because they're both 4s than Phantom Knights and Raid Raptors. It's nice to see the Phantom Knights in this engine as well. So not dominating, but like you got Phantom Knights with Raid Raptors with Time Thief. It's kind of like a rank 4 player's dream to be able to keep extending, to keep going further. And like I said, I really like Time Thief. So I really wish they had got some more support early on. Like for a TCG exclusive, they kind of not bombed, but it was like, here's one card that's going to be worth it. So we play through 2 hand traps. We've got Desires. We're letting this play through. I suppose there's not really a threat. This is what I like about it, is the Requiem then triggers rusty pops. You still have Requiem with 2 negates. You still have a bounce with Redoer. You have a negate on Savage. You have a negate on Infinity. And then you got the flyback and you got the claw. Now, obviously, that's used his entire hand. So, okay. So let's look back just quickly at the profile. Now, Parallel XD, in my opinion, stays. Winder stays. I get the Mothman, because there's some of your cards you don't actually mind being in the graveyard. So, like your Trick Clown, your Beazle Ship, stuff like that. Arguably, I mean, I'm just looking at this obviously objectively. Arguably, in a 47 card deck, I personally don't think Call by the Grave is worth it. All right, it worked in one game, but you're hoping to open up a one-of in a deck of 47. So to me, this is my personal feedback on this, and he might explain it a little bit differently and say there is a reason he's paying 47. But honestly, I'd probably, if I was determined to get it to 40, I'd cut Call by the Grave for sure. I would be arguably trying to cut Floodgate. I mean, Rafflesia isn't the best option, but it is the only option that a rank 4 spam deck has to protect against Nibiru. So I get that play. I would probably cut the 2 Pet Incessors unless you really, really need them. Like, unless you put it to 3. Again, I just think that a card that needs to have no graveyard, and it didn't look in any of those replays like he was banishing the graveyard or clearing the graveyard back out, that it's either open it, or it's like a dead, or it's a normal summon level 4, which isn't the end of the world. But then to get this card out, without like even using your normal summon to make use of it, you need the Kekatoke, and then you need like a Tin Goldfish just to make your rank 4 play. So, I mean, how many normal summons have you got in the deck that you want to normal summon is my question. So you got 1. Don't really need to normal summon that. 1, 2, 3. I suppose there's only like 3 cards that you're like, I have to normal summon. Everything else can be special summon out of the deck. So, I mean, maybe. You keep the full Phantom Knight engine. I think pretty much everything else we saw use of. Again, Safana and Mapara, again, are interesting ones to me. I'm not too sure on the playstyle. I'm not too sure on the point. Is the point to have as many extenders as possible? Or is it you want to make sure... Because, again, if I personally would cut this in 40 and be like, right, okay, cards like this that require me to have nothing aren't as good as cards that require me to have something on top of that. I would go with either ors. I would go with sorry guys. I would go with cutting it down to 40 and then play the extenders of the Pet Incessor, the Mapara and the Safala, but get rid of the ones that are like Kagatoki, maybe even tin goldfish. Like, you'd get rid of the ones that are when effects, that can miss timing. You can get rid of the ones that could be easily impermed, and then all you do is you just go for your extenders. You literally just go for cards, because I mean, your main normal summon, you want to be regulator. You want to see these as consistent as possible. You want to see your extenders as early and consistently as possible, because again, there's 4 cards that, yes, you can normal summon them, but it's 4 cards that you don't really... That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these, like, you look at Stranglanius needs a Dark Monster. What else we got? I think this needs to have a Dark XYZ. So the only ones that will come off the back of these, that wouldn't normally come off the back of something normal summoning, well, more so these, or the ones that can extend off of these, would be your Tin Goldfish, your Kagekoti, and your Tin Goldfish and your Kagetoki. Everything else requires some normal summon. Now again, Matt will be able to explain it a little bit more. Still think it's a really cool deck. I love the idea behind it. I like rank 4s in general, so it's nice to see them be spammed out quite a bit. We never really saw Sword, which was interesting. I suppose this is like a last gasp kind of make and break kind of play. And I'm assuming Almirage is one of them times where you normal summon a monster, because a lot of these don't have huge amounts of effect, and open up your Parallel XZ, and then you just turn it into that. Parallel XZ comes down, and then straight away you've got your ability. I think the biggest threat is literally ashing your regulator, and you're in such bad position. Well, I suppose if as long as it tributes his cost and it gets ashed, then if you have something like Safara or Mapara, you've got the ability to extend. So anyway, very, very interesting. Let me know what you think of this deck in the comments down below. Are there any changes that you would make? I think Matt would be more than happy to hear positive feedback, or any kind of direction that it could be taken into in order to kind of take it to that next level. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, smash that notification bell so you do not miss out on any more future Yu-Gi-Oh content from Zephyr Wargames. Until next time, guys, as absolutely always, stay safe and happy dueling.